Welcome back to another episode of Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast where we cover all things fandom. With me once again are my co-hosts Dave and Jeremy. Today we will be covering that little event that took place in Southern California over the weekend, Comic-Con. Breaking down all the big news from San Diego with some predictions, theories, and a good old-fashioned fan cast. All right, well, are you guys ready for the reason why we're here today? The big daddy of them all?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys ready for the full breakdown of the Dungeons and Dragons trailer?
You suck. That was good. That's interestingly random. Like, hey, Stranger Things is huge. Let's make a Dungeons and Dragons movie real quick. I can't say I care at all about that.
It's the era of recreating ideas.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's get to Marvel. So on Friday, they had an animation panel. The first thing we got was I Am Groot coming out August 10th.
Yeah.
They dropped a little trailer. It is 5 different short films. Seems fun. I mean, nothing crazy, obviously.
I mean, if I have a kid soon, I'll throw it on for them.
Right.
I'm not very interested in it.
Yeah, Brielle and I will watch this together, and I'm going to act like I'm uninterested, but I'll sit there just stoked to watch it.
JD's taking notes on his phone.
We also got some more news about Spider-Man freshman year. Now, Charlie Cox is back as Daredevil in the show. Spider-Man will have multiple suits. Now, they're saying it's going to be canon, but that's kind of confusing about how that's going to all work out.
Super confusing.
There's going to be...
Can't they do it in a way that's not confusing? I mean, if it's just like... you're right. Hold on, because Daredevil was not... No one knows about Daredevil, and everyone forgot that Spider-Man was a thing already. Is that why it's confusing?
Well, that, and there's a few other things that I'm sure Caleb will get to that makes it confusing. Some details about it.
Yeah, I want to hear, because I'm sure the audience is curious, too.
Yeah.
He's going to be going on adventures with Doctor Strange and Norman Osborn.
That's the one.
Oh, okay. So Norman Osborn is not in the MCU at all.
Well, they said he meets with Norman Osborn instead of his meeting with Tony Stark. They said it's the same intro.
Mentor.
Yeah, it's Norman Osborn. So I'm like, how the hell is that canon then? If Tony Stark isn't his mentor and Norman Osborn, who's not even in the MCU, is his mentor, how in the world is this canon?
Yeah, they better introduce Norman Osborn in live action soon or something.
Yeah, it just don't make sense. I mean, Norman Osborn said in No Way Home, he's like, there's no Harry Osborn in this universe. There's no, there's no Oscorp here. So, I don't know.
Wait, who said that in No Way Home?
Norman Osborn. He's like, there's no Oscorp here. I have nothing here. When Aunt May is talking to him in the little homeless shelter and stuff, he specifically states that there's nothing tied to him in this universe. So, yeah, I don't know. Any other details, though, that make it even harder to follow along with?
No, that's about it. I mean,
Good.
JD, have your expectations for the show changed at all?
No, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. It's almost like canon's weird because now that the multiverse is open, you could technically have canon in another universe, I guess.
Right, yeah, that's true. So they didn't say it was... Did they say it's the 616?
I don't think so. They didn't specify.
Well, then maybe it's just canon for a different universe.
Yeah, they could pretty much cheat on anything now.
Yeah.
Another new show we are getting is Marvel Zombies. This will be continuing the story from What If. We will get zombie versions of Abomination, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Okoye, Icarus, Captain America. And this show will be rated TVMA.
Yep.
Lots of
big
gore
one.
Is promised.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so exciting just for the fact of what that opens up. But like, I'm not even excited for the show itself. I'm just excited about the fact that they rated it TVMA. It's like, all right, doors are open.
Like, I'm excited Disney is doing adult content because they specifically said it's going to have all the gore and blood splatter expected in a zombie film.
Yeah.
And I mean, they just put Deadpool on Disney Plus and Logan, a bunch of rated R movies. Like, I got a lot of faith in Disney as of right now.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes me excited. I don't know how Icarus can be a zombie. I just want to throw that out there. He's literally a robotic like creation of a clone celestial.
That's a good point.
He's like
It's not like an artificial intelligence. Like if a human created it, it's kind of like a robot, but the freaking celestial created it. I feel like he's more organic than an Ultron. So it's just weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw the image of him like half zombified.
Like where it's only his skin is really gone. Everything else is fine. It seemed like everything underneath is normal.
That's a scary zombie.
I was gonna say zombie with laser eyes that can fly. Yes.
We also got X-Men 97. More news about that. Now, it starts with a shot of the returning X-Men team. Pure nostalgia. Magneto is going to be the new leader of the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the big things. So no Charles Xavier. Magneto is leading.
Yeah, the last show ended. The original animated series ended with Charles like being like flown off to the moon or something. I don't remember where he got sent off somewhere though. But the series ended with Charles Xavier leaving behind the X-Men. So yeah, should be interesting.
I've heard a theory that this new X-Men animated show is going to lead into the X-Men coming into the MCU 616 universe somehow.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but I've heard that too.
Yeah, I've also heard the theory that the Professor X from the X-Men 97 show was the Professor X that was in Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, he had the same exact giant weird yellow wheelchair thing that he was hovering around in, which the only time we've ever seen that, comics, movies, anything, has been in the X-Men 97 series. So
yeah, so for that, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
And Hellfire Club is confirmed to have a big role, and Mr. Sinister.
Okay. Yeah, I saw Sebastian Shaw's artwork. You know, he's back to looking like a 1770 colonial. Oh my gosh. You know, one of those guys with the shoes.
Powder wig.
Yeah. Colonial man. Good Lord. I'm sick. Okay.
George Washington looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
2 seasons have been confirmed, and they haven't confirmed if it's canon yet. Dave, how do you feel about Magneto leading the squad?
I think it's kind of dope. Like I said, one of my favorite parts of Dark Phoenix was when Magneto's fighting alongside the X-Men. And I really like First Class when Magneto's fighting alongside the good guys. So obviously it's an animated show, but it gets me excited for the possibilities. Is if it relates to this being a canon introduction, then we might possibly get a Magneto who is working alongside the X-Men the first time he's introduced to the MCU. So it could be cool.
A lot of the times in the comics, well, in the recent days, in the past like 5-10 years or something like that, he is more of a hero than a villain. He kind of just joins the X-Men on their little endeavors.
Okay. Yeah, I like anti-villain or anti-hero Magneto.
Totally.
What if season 2 has been confirmed, coming out early 2023?
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I really liked the first season of What If. Like, I just enjoyed it. Every episode, pretty much, I enjoyed a little bit of it. I just love the idea of it. I love the idea of What If. It just opens up so many doors. So I'm excited for this. The only thing that kind of took away my excitement is they showed what the first episode's going to be. And it's Captain Carter Fights the Hydra Stomper is the title of the first episode. And my thought is like, okay, but we already got a major Captain Carter episode in What If, which it was fine, but it was probably my least favorite of all the What If episodes. And it's like, all right, so we're getting the second season of What If, a show where we can make anything happen. Anything. It's What If. We could do any type of crazy scenarios throughout the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they choose to go Captain Carter Fights a Hydra Stomper. It's like, all right, that's the most creative thing we could have came up with to kick the season off. So I'm not really excited for that, but hopefully, you know, it's just like last season. They kind of start off with that and then they get more out there with stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, all I was interested in is how Captain Britain became this Captain America of the universe. Like, I don't really need to see a ton of stories with her in it, unless they have like a movie idea with a really cool 2-hour plot. Don't need to see a bunch of animated episodes with her. It was really cool seeing her become Captain Britain or whatever.
Captain Carter.
But yeah, Captain Carter. Why do I keep saying Captain Britain? But anyway.
Well, technically it's.
Yeah.
The shield.
But, yeah. But we don't need a bunch of that stuff. We know how she is, and now we know that she's in the Illuminati of that universe we saw her in Doctor Strange. So we don't need to see a bunch of side plots with her. I like what you said. Like, you could do any creative, crazy idea. Like, what if Iron Man killed Captain America during the Civil War? Or what happens after that? Like, crazy stuff like that.
They did confirm that this Captain Carter is not the same Captain Carter that we saw in Doctor Strange. So the what if Captain Carter is a different Captain Carter than the one we saw in Doctor Strange.
That makes it even less.
Why. Yeah, but they went out of their way to confirm, like, this is not the same Captain Carter. It's like, okay, well.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right.
There was one more little piece of news. Johnathan Hickman is coming back for a comic book run.
Yeah.
They did not confirm what he is doing yet. I heard it's not X-Men. But JD, what would you like to see him come back and do? Do you know any rumors about this?
I don't know any rumors. I can't think of what I would like to see him come into. It
has to be something big.
Something big, 100%. He's like an epic Christopher Nolan kind of guy. He's like somewhere in between Alan Moore and Christopher Nolan, if Christopher Nolan wrote comics. He's so sick, dude. Like, he's my favorite series ever is a Johnathan Hickman Avengers and New Avengers run that led to Secret Wars, which we're getting. That's all your incursions and all that stuff. Like, what could he do? That's like, he did everything though. He even did like the Fantastic Four. He's already done Fantastic Four. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say the other introduction or rumor regarding comics was there's a new Fantastic Four comic run starting off at the end of this year.
So that could be it.
Yeah, but they did say Hickman's run was in 2023, and they said Fantastic Four. I'm pretty sure they said it was starting at the end of this year. So I don't know. I don't know if that was just a miscommunication or if it could be him taking on another Fantastic Four run. But
yeah, so he did the Avengers, like the best comic run, in my opinion. He did the X-Men, amazing comic run, House of X, Powers of X. He did Fantastic Four, which is good. I would love to see him do something more cosmic, like Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, something with Galactus, Annihilation. He did a lot of Galactus and Fantastic Four, but something more cosmic, like based in space.
That'd be cool.
I would say Guardians of the Galaxy. That'll be my answer that'd be really cool to see him do.
Now, the teaser released by Marvel has the phrase, "What happens when the powers that be meet the natural order of things?" Hickman was a member of the Next Big Thing panel, but didn't speak until the end, where he revealed now his new piece of work is Sandman for the Marvel Universe.
Huh. Well, I have no idea now. I've been meaning to get into the Sandman thing, but I haven't. I know it's been blowing up a lot, but
he's been working on it for 3 years now.
Dang, okay.
Moving on to the live action panel on Saturday. We're going to start off with the She-Hulk trailer. It was pretty good. I mean, nothing too... I'm not super interested in this show, but I'll definitely give it a try. Got a couple funny lines from Hulk. He goes, "Spandex is your best friend."
Yeah.
It shows her training with Hulk, and then she becomes the face of defending superpowered people. She will be defending Emil Blonsky's Abomination in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Wong is in it. Why not?
Bro, he's the Nick Fury of Phase 4. It's so
100%.
weird. It's so weird, but I mean, that's whatever. I like him, I guess, but it's just, he's in everything.
Daredevil?
Yeah. We get a Daredevil flipping into the screen at the end of the trailer.
Makes sense. They're both lawyers.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be a part of this too. And then we got, obviously we'll get into that later, but we got a confirmation regarding Daredevil returning to Disney and all that stuff. But it looked like I'm confused. They said we're going to get the Daredevil will be suited up in red and black suit in the Echo series, but he was definitely wearing red and gold in that little She-Hulk thing, which is one of his original comic outfits is red and yellowish. But I don't know. I'm curious to see. It's just, I don't know if I want to see Daredevil. I don't know. I'm so torn on it. But I'll dive into that when we talk about Daredevil later. I don't know. It was cool seeing him at the end.
Yeah, I think Marvel does a good job at cameos in general.
Mm-hmm. I'm not super excited. Yeah, what were you saying?
Well, usually they put cameos in for a reason. I hope they're not just putting them in just to say, "Hey, here's Daredevil." which they have a good track record. They have a good track record of not doing that. So I was just super excited to see him in the trailer. I mean, think about it. That wasn't our first. Far From No Way Home was our first Charlie Cox sighting of Daredevil, but this is our first sighting of him in the MCU in costume as Daredevil.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. The show itself, I'd be lying if I said I'm super excited about She-Hulk. Even the Hulk aspect of it, I feel like they're gonna. You thought Ragnarok neutered Hulk. I feel like this show is gonna make him be such a goof. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, if he just remains the teacher for her the whole time, I think they'll do better than Ragnarok. I swear. Well, Ragnarok wasn't as bad as the Russo brothers, to be honest. Like what the Russo brothers did with Bruce Banner and the Hulk was like. That was like a slap in the face. Whereas Ragnarok was just goofy, which you can handle that. That's fine. But like, dude,
again, I liked it, but
yeah, I mean, no, I like it better than what the Russo brothers did. I feel like, but I'm super excited about this show. You guys are kind of like middle ground, but I'm a big fan of the Hulk character. But he's a weird character because you can't write a super complex story written around this character. He just has super cool moments. Like in the Avengers, I feel like that's the best we've ever had him. And he had very limited screen time. And I thought that's 100% appropriate because he's not complex. He's not like a character that's going to have a whole story revolved around him. He's just going to show up and just wreak havoc on the enemy for a second. And it's going to be badass. But you don't need a whole show revolved around him. So with that said, I think as him and She-Hulk, it just seems exciting for him, He's teaching her how to be Hulk, even though it seems like when she turns into a Hulk, she has her wits. She's not going crazy angry. So she seems like she's ahead of the game from where Bruce Banner was before he became a smart Hulk, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I don't like the fourth wall breaking thing though. Like
that's interesting.
That's a Deadpool thing. It works for Deadpool, but for the MCU, like a character that's not a rated R maniac, didn't work for me. But that's just one little nitpick.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's just going to be a trailer thing or if that's actually going to be a staple in the show. I'm hoping it was just a trailer thing.
Yeah, and the actress looks pretty good when she was like,
we're gonna,
like CGI, whatever, that'll improve, But her acting seems fine. She seems kind of funny and genuine and like. I like when Wong, or she was talking to Wong, she's like, we're going to go by the books about this, and he's like, the book of Ashanti? She goes, no, like the book of like American laws.
American laws.
You know what I mean? She seems like a good actress.
Yeah. Marvel's good at that. I mean, again, I wasn't crazy about Miss Marvel, but I always forget her name, but whoever portrayed Kamala, she was a good actress. There's no doubt about that. Aman Vellani. There you go.
It rolls off the tongue nicely.
Yeah, Aman Vellani.
Next, we got one of the most emotional teaser trailers I've seen. Probably one of the best. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I almost teared up watching this for the first time.
Yeah.
I think it shows a funeral scene in the beginning. Ryan Coogler said this movie is a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. You see the mural?
For. Yeah.
The mural. I mean, it was pretty sad. Namor is confirmed.
Was just like Tony Stark and Spiderman. Far From
Home. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Same situation.
Namor is confirmed. We saw a lot of new areas of Wakanda in the trailer that we haven't seen before. A lot of underwater scenes. And it was a very good trailer.
I didn't think that was Wakanda at all. I thought that was all Atlantis stuff.
The underwater stuff is definitely Atlantis.
Like the beach scenes.
And that baby being born, I'm sure that was Namor.
That was Namor,
right.
Yeah, dude. What's up?
Did you guys like Namor's look?
I don't mind it. Like, I mean, I didn't think they were going to do exactly how he looks like in the comics, so I'm good with the logic behind it.
Well, they did. It's kind of like that super old school Namor when he was literally with Captain America during World War II or whatever.
Oh, when he was the first mutant. Okay.
Yeah. Back in the day, that's his green shorts and his winged feet.
Winged feet, yeah.
Yeah, he's actually born with winged feet. Like, as he's a baby.
Biological?
He's got wings on his feet as a baby.
God, I didn't know that.
Is that biological?
That makes it better, I guess. If he's putting shoes on that have wings on him, I'd be a little annoyed.
No, when he was a baby, the scene shows him with little wings on his feet. I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay.
I would have preferred the Johnathan Hickman New Avengers Namor look, but it's fine.
Yeah. But dude, it totally looks like we're about to get the war for Wakanda. Like,
oh yeah.
So
it looks like this showed the Atlanteans flooding Wakanda, which is one of the big turning points in the books. Like that was a big moment. So it looked like they were doing that, right?
Yes, they 100% Wakanda is being flooded. And yeah, and one of the first, well, the very first comic book I ever read, thanks to our friend JD here, was Avengers versus X-Men. Very first comic I ever read. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. First time poking it in, he let me have the physical copy of this book, and it was beautiful. Artwork was beautiful, and it got me hooked into comics. But one of the main things that happens in there is the Atlanteans wipe out Wakanda with a tidal wave. And it totally looks like we're getting this. And there's a lot of other stuff that kind of ties into that. But Wakanda is definitely being flooded. That's a great issue. And that can lead into so much more stuff. And just, I don't know, there's so many cool storylines that are tied in with the war for Wakanda. And it's just going to be badass seeing all that stuff happening.
Totally, dude. It's literally in the comics. It happens during the incursions, just like it's happening in the movie.
So it's like Secret War. Yep.
Yeah, everything's matching up really well. So it's super exciting. It's such a cool feud.
Yeah. And dude, the music to that trailer, I mean, oh my gosh. First you start off with the No Woman, No Cry song, which like Love said, it was like emotional. I was like, okay, this is like perfect. But then it transitions. So at one point in that song, you know, one of the lyrics is, everything is going to be all right. And it starts repeating that. And then the all right thing starts morphing into Kendrick Lamar's All Right song, which the lyrics are, we gonna be all right. And so it's kind of like, it almost is like them saying, like, we lost Chadwick Boseman, we lost T'Challa, but the franchise is going to be all right. Almost kind of feel that I got from it. But just the music, the musical transition of that part of the trailer was so dope. Just so well put together.
Yes, dude. That's such a good point about how the franchise is going to be all right. It's heartbreaking seeing Chadwick Boseman go. Dude, Chadwick Boseman versus Namor would have been so sick.
I know, man.
But it's a great point about the audio there transitioning. It took me a few watches, dude. At first, I was like, the music didn't work for me, and then it started turning to Kendrick, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sick, actually. And then I watched it 2-3 times, and I'm like, you know what? That was badass.
Straight up.
Namor's throne is the jaws of a giant shark.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
Yeah, as he's like descending down onto his throne, and looked like it could be a big ass great white or megalodon or something. That's his throne.
That's cool.
Oh.
As a child, he's facing a house that's burning down. I wonder what that is, and if that's kind of a grudge he's going to hold against the Wakandans.
That's the feel I got from it. Yeah, like some childhood tragedy, and now he hates oh my gosh, hates Wakanda. I can't speak.
It just feels epic, dude. It feels like special, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you guys think is the new Black Panther? Is it Shuri?
Yeah.
Nakia? Maybe Killmonger?
I'm like 3,000% in on Shuri. I don't think it's going to be anybody else.
Same.
I'm totally down with that.
That short Black Panther reveal, did it look like a female build?
It totally looked like a female build.
Yeah,
that was not a bulking male build. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I really hope it's Shuri.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, surprisingly, Kevin Feige wrapped up Phase 4 quicker than we thought. So to kick off Phase 5, our first movie will be Ant-Man Quantamania, coming out February 17th, 2023. We got a poster for this showing Cassie as Stinger in her purple suit. MODOK has been confirmed as the secondary villain to Kang. It shows Scott is also writing a book. He's not only on a podcast, it looks like he's writing some type of tell-all book.
That's Scott.
They brought the whole cast out on stage, and there was one quote from Jonathan Majors. He said, "There will be conquering."
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting about Kang, man. I'm really excited for this movie. And the trailer, so there was leaked trailer footage. So I kind of watched all these leaked trailer footage from all these guys' cell phones pretty much. But yeah, it looks like it does look like the majority of the movie is going to be in the quantum realm. And there was one point, there's a line in there. So Ant-Man encounters, and it looks like it's going to be Kang. And Ant-Man walks up he's like, I don't know who you are, blah, 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 blah. He goes, I don't know who you are, but I'm an Avenger. And the guy goes, oh, you're an Avenger. I'm a conqueror. It's just like, oh, okay, so that's Kang, and Scott's facing down with Kang. Like, I don't know. The movie, the tone of it seems way darker than the last two Ant-Mans, especially the Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm really excited about it. And I love Ant-Man. I just love Paul Rudd. So, like,
yes. I am a huge fan of the first Ant-Man movie.
Okay, same.
The second one is pretty mid. That's actually at the bottom of my list because it's just not as good as the first one.
Yeah,
But
there's some cool parts, but
yeah. But to give Ant-Man a third movie, it needs to be huge. So to have the return of Kang after bringing him in at the end of Loki, it's the perfect villain to give Ant-Man. So this third movie really does mean something.
Oh yeah,
and it's setting up the whole Phase 5 and 6.
I'm curious to see, because Kang, I know it's not going to be the same Kang that we got in Loki. But the Kang we got in Loki was, he was clever.
Witty.
He had very witty. And so if we even get some form of that going back and forth with Paul Rudd while they're kind of like facing up against each other, it'd be hilarious. I mean, it'd be great. They don't have to go over the top with the humor, but there could be some really, really entertaining back and forths with Kang saying some stuff and Scott's kind of half-assed sarcastic reply kind of things going on. I don't know. It could be a fun dynamic between those two.
And I could see Kang winning at the end of the movie.
Yeah, so I've got some theories on that regarding the Avengers movies and whatnot. But yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah, if the next Avengers movie is called Kang Dynasty, he's doing something right.
Yeah, he's probably not going to get defeated.
Yeah. Did you guys see the official poster
for Quantamania?
Yeah.
I think Caleb just mentioned it. I didn't see it though.
It looks super good, like for a poster, which doesn't mean much, but it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Because Kang has his classic look.
That's dope. With Kang in the background.
Yeah. And it's not just his actor. What's his actor's name?
Jonathan
it's not just him.
No,
it's not just him as a person. It's his whole Kang look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
And it has the background looks all quantum-like.
Yeah, that's really cool. The van. I got the van though.
Yeah, I can't wait for this movie.
Me neither, and I didn't. Ant-Man and the Wasp is literally my least favorite MCU movie.
Yeah, we were just talking about how it was kind of at the bbottom, but it's definitely not my least favorite.
It's 100% my least favorite.
Damn.
JD, how do you feel about the first one?
I love it because I love Paul Rudd, dude. Paul Rudd is amazing.
How do you not like? How does somebody go in and be like, I hate Paul Rudd? Like,
yeah, he's like one of the coolest
What's wrong with
actors.
You? Yeah.
I thought the Falcon cameo was really well done too.
Cap can't hear about this.
Yeah, and then it led into Civil War perfectly.
Yeah,
you needed that scene for his introduction into Civil War.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, that whole interaction, pulling him out of the van, was hilarious.
What time zone is this? You're shaking your hand too long.
Shaking your hand for too long. Oh, I know you too. You're great. Just
good
stuff. Yeah.
Next, we got Secret Invasion coming out spring 2023. Yeah. Ben Mendelsohn and Samuel L. Jackson are returning.
Nice. Okay.
Don Cheadle is also going to be in the show as Rhodey. Emilia Clarke has been confirmed as a cast member in this movie or show. This is, of course, the comic book story with the Skrull invasion, where they take the place, they shapeshift into some of our beloved heroes. So, JD, who was a Skrull all along?
Oh man, such a cool story in the comics, because Brian Michael Bendis took over and he wrote like freaking 60 years of comics, which started with Avengers Disassemble, when
super good.
So good, when Wanda accidentally killed like Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Vision. And then what did that lead to? It led to a bunch of corrupt S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff in the Civil War. And eventually, like, Secret Invasions came along, and it was revealed that Skrulls were infiltrated in the government and S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers all along. Maria Hill was a Skrull, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, like half of them, yeah.
Yeah. Hank Pym was a Skrull.
That was the biggest one, yeah. Spider-Woman was like the Queen
Spider-Woman.
Scroll.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, it showed that all the terrible things that have happened in the Marvel Universe at the time was pretty much caused by a Skrull invasion for years ago. And the Skrull invasion 6-issue series, like, that's when it came to the final couple battles. But like, for years, they were manipulating the whole situation. So I don't know how they're going to play it into the movies. Like, it would be amazing. I feel like Ross had to have been a Skrull the whole time.
That wouldn't be bad.
Well, unfortunately, his freaking the actor died.
Right, but you could work that away, and now you don't have to show that actor anymore. You could be saying that he was a Skrull the whole time, and now he's back. But I mean, obviously, R.I.P. William Hurt. It's a bummer that we're not going to see that. But yeah, they could make that work.
Yeah, they got to have a lot of significant characters, but it just sucks because a lot of significant characters that we may have liked in the past, like, we don't want them to just be written off as Skrulls the whole time. So it's weird. They got to do something really smart, but it's exciting, like, because you don't know what's going to happen. And they also said it's going to be a really dark series.
I was going to say, they said that it was going to be similar to the Winter Soldier in the grittiness and the dark, like kind of a dark, more grounded kind of tone, which grounded wouldn't be the word I would use for something called Secret Invasion of the Skrulls, but they said it was going to have a dark, gritty Winter Soldier-esque tone. So that gets me hyped, like super hyped about that. Yeah. And you got Emilia Clarke coming in, they said she's either going to be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or S.W.O.R.D. And so, I think we're thinking she's going to be Abigail Brand, which is a major comic book character in there for S.W.O.R.D. I feel like that's 100% going to be it. I don't know who else. She's going to be a major character, and S.W.O.R.D's going to be a major part in this, and she's confirmed to be an agent of one of those two things. So she's not just going to be some random agent. Like,
yeah, there's no other major players. Like, she's the only major S.W.O.R.D character.
She has a huge role in Secret Invasion. So. Yeah.
Next on the slate, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming out in May. There was a trailer shown to the Comic-Con audience. I guess it was pretty emotional. This is the end of the Guardians, James Gunn said. He said, you don't have to kill everyone off to end a story, but this is the end. The High Evolutionary has been confirmed as the villain.
Okay.
They did show a baby Rocket. So you will be getting the Rocket origin.
Saw that, yeah. That's interesting.
I guess there was another part in the trailer that showed Gamora is a part of the Ravagers now, and she kidnapped the Guardians.
The trailer didn't seem like she kidnapped them. They showed up. They showed up, and they were like, hey, this group of pirates or whatever, they're like holding Quill and Nebula and the whole Guardians gang at gunpoint. They're like, hey, we have an appointment. We have an appointment. They're like, with who? And Nebula goes, Gamora. And Quill kind of like turns around and goes, what? And then Gamora pushes her away from the back and says, you're late or something like that. And it's Gamora. It was a leaked trailer. It was a leaked trailer. So
I was going to say, I did not
so we
see
talked about it so Quantumania and Guardians, they both had leaked trailers where people recorded it on their phone, and you only see you only see the top 30% of the screen, but you can still make out stuff. It was still worth to watch it to me. I mean, it was again seeing Gamora, and then you see Baby Rocket at one point. And you're like, oh, okay, and then you see a shot of Adam Warlock too, and he looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, dude. He's got that little stone or whatever. He's got some little thing on his forehead.
There's no
Which is that supposed to be an Infinity Stone? Yeah, he's got something on his forehead, but it didn't look like the Soul Stone. But he 100% had something embedded in his forehead.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the Soul Stone. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, that's it. It definitely wasn't glowing. But again, it was low quality. But it didn't look orange. It looked like reddish, kind of. But yeah, we got an Adam Warlock thing. Gamora's back. Rocket origins, a lot of cool stuff.
Nice.
Coming out summer of 2023, we have the Echo TV series. Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin are both confirmed to be in the show. This will be leading off the events of Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm. And
we don't really know much about this yet. No.
The only other thing, which I mentioned before on a Week in Geek, it's confirmed that the actor who played Bullseye in the Netflix series Daredevil, I forget his name, he's coming to this Echo show too. So that's pretty cool. And apparently the rumor is Kingpin will be running for mayor of New York in this show. So another comic book kind of storyline there. I didn't care at all about Echo until I heard all this stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, okay, she's an alright character in the comics, but it's not like she's in anything major. But yeah, all that stuff happening, I'm there. I hope it's not rated. I hope they go TVMA. That'd be cool. Probably won't, but
I doubt it. But that would be cool.
Yeah.
I wish all the shit was rated R and TVMA.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Also coming out in summer of 2023, we have Loki Season 2. Now, this should be another big event after Man Quantamania, continuing the multiverse. We could see the third iteration of Kang in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited for this show. How do you guys feel about Season 2?
They have an opportunity to build Kang up more than they did Thanos. Like, he's literally going to be an Ant-Man, Loki Season 2, and then his Avengers 5.
Well, he'll be in more. He'll be in more before. He'll be way more.
I was going to say, he could easily show up in literally anything. Guardians, like any type of variant Kang. Because he said in Loki, you're going to meet versions way worse than me. He was holding all these variant Kangs at bay, and then they killed him. So we're going to see all of the Kangs appearing in all these different things. I feel like he could show up a ton.
I love that you brought up that line, because that was such a good line. Like, you're going to meet variants way worse than me.
Yeah.
Because you want a scary villain, dude. But still, Thanos never had a movie. All he had was a couple seconds of end credit scenes until we saw him in Infinity War. So,
yeah. Guardians. He had a little bit of a role in Guardians, but not much.
They mention his name a lot, but he still had like a 30-second scene. That's about it.
Yeah, he was on scene twice. So yeah,
and Kang had a freaking full episode in Loki already. He's gonna have a movie as the antagonist in Ant-Man.
True.
And then what was the other one? Loki Season 2.
Loki Season 2, because he was the statue of the TVA when we left off Season 1. So he's he's involved.
Yeah. And you never know. Maybe they'll explain how the multiverse and the timeline and the quantum, all that shit's how it's tied into each other.
Wouldn't that be nice? Have an appearance from Caleb's cat, Juice, here. Everybody say hello.
Juice, what's your take on the whole situation here?
He's not a big Marvel fan. More of a Star Wars guy.
Fair enough.
Our next movie coming out in summer of 2023 is The Marvels. This will be continuing off of the post-credit scene of Miss Marvel, how Monica Rambeau got her powers at the end of WandaVision, and whatever Captain Marvel has been up to since her couple of different post-credit scenes.
Haircuts, yeah.
All I have to say is I hope that leaked plot is not true, where they go to a planet where everyone sings instead of talks, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not really interested in.
Yeah. Carol's married to the king of the planet or something, and they all form there, and yeah.
What planet is it supposed to be?
I don't think they said the name. They just said some planet.
If it's the Shi'ar Empire or planet,
well, that changed. Do they sing there?
You never know. They might have a singing planet.
I was going to say, if it's the Shi'ar, that's amazing, but if they reduce the Shi'ar to a planet that sings instead of talks, I don't know how.
Yeah, well, the Shi'ar Empire is not just a planet. I'm sure it's I don't know if it's a galaxy or something that big, but it's, there's probably multiple planets. And if there's a planet that loves to sing, then, but hopefully we don't spend too much time on a freaking planet that likes to sing.
I've always wanted a Marvel musical.
God.
Since that scene in Hawkeye, Dave's been dying for one.
I've just been waiting for the Shi'ar to get introduced, and something cosmic is going to do it eventually.
Yeah, that might be a Phase 7 thing.
And then I guess Marvel takes a little 5-month break, and we have another title we don't know much about coming out November 3rd of 2023, Blade. This should be leading off the post-credit scene from the Eternals. Mahershala Ali is Blade, and Kit Harington should be reprising his role from Eternals in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the Black Knight, I believe.
Yeah, but plot details, trailers, posters, there wasn't anything released besides a image on the screen.
Yeah. That could be fun. We'll see.
Also coming out in fall of 2023, we have the Ironheart series. Riri Williams is making her debut in Wakanda Forever. So this show will be continuing off of that movie wherever she ends up. Don't really know much about that show besides that, unless you guys got something.
No.
Yeah, the whole thing falls in line with everything involving Secret Wars and Doctor Doom, because after Secret Wars, Doctor Doom doesn't have a mutilated face anymore, and he kind of becomes a hero again and realizes he's done a lot of bad in the world. But this girl, Riri Williams, just gathers a bunch of Stark tech and becomes this weird new Iron Man and tries to fight Doctor Doom, even though he supposedly became a hero. So it all kind of seems to be following the same timeline as the comics. So it's exciting. I don't know. You know, it's just a new Iron Man. We have Don Cheadle still as War Machine, and it almost feels like you're always going to need some kind of high tech Iron character to keep that going in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with it. I'm excited to see how she is in Wakanda forever.
That's what I'm saying. The Wakanda thing was not in the comics, so like if she does a lot of Wakanda tech with her vibranium and stuff, they could put a really cool twist on it.
Yeah.
Coming out in winter of 2023, we have Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Now, the show will have the return of Agatha, obviously, and how she gets out of her mind spell. I would really only be interested in this show if Wanda is in it. Dave, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't give a damn about this show, like, at all. I have less interest in this show than I had going into Miss Marvel, which ended up being all right, but I don't need a freaking Agatha Harkness show, dude. I didn't even like her that much in WandaVision, so I don't know.
See, I did like her in WandaVision, but I also don't feel like there's a point to this show unless Mephisto's involved. But then again, there's too many things being set up. We don't need another big villain. So I don't think they're going to bring in Mephisto. So I'm more excited than I was for Miss Marvel because I liked her in WandaVision. But I don't know where they're going with it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Coming out in spring of 2024, Daredevil, Born Again. Now, it's reported that there's going to be 18 episodes for this show.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, I know you're a big Daredevil fan. What do you think about the return, getting his own show now?
Bro, I'm so excited. So excited. And then kind of got hit with some anxiety and nervousness about it too. But I'm just so stoked, dude. Because, yeah, Daredevil on Netflix, me and JD both freaking adore that show. That show is amazing. And it's so cool that they're continuing. We're not losing him. I don't know how much of the actual canon they're going to bring over from Netflix because it's called Born Again, but season 3 was literally Born Again. That was like what the whole season covered. It was like the Born Again run. But I'm super excited. Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back. So just the fact that Daredevil lives on, I'm hyped. I just really hope they don't Disneyfy it too much because the best part of Daredevil on Netflix was the gritty fighting. There was some of the best hand-to-hand fight scenes I've ever seen. Just amazing, just so gritty, violent at points, but just so real. And I just really hope they don't take that aspect out of the show. It'd be really cool if it got a TVMA, but again, I know that's a long shot. But zombies gave me hope, so maybe. But regardless, I'm super, super excited for it.
A lot of fans say that you can't do like TVMA or rated R and then throw those characters into an Avengers movie because they can't be the same character. But I don't feel like that's true because you could throw a Daredevil into Avengers. You're just not going to show him beating a human trafficker to a bloody pulp. Like, it's not like they're, you know what I mean? It's not like they're Deadpool saying all the cuss words, saying super dirty stuff like that. You could easily fit them into an MCU kind of Disney thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is my worst fear. I hope they don't Disneyfy it. I hope it feels like the original Netflix Daredevil shows.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, there's 18 episodes, so it's like they gotta show some down and street level stuff with Daredevil. You know, he'd fit easily into a PG-13 movie, like you said. Like you can make that happen, no problem.
Well, would you consider the Netflix show to be rated R, PG-13? Because it's not like it was over the.
Oh yeah, it's TVMA. No, it's TVMA. It's
as a movie. do you think that would fit in a PG-13 movie, or do you think that'd be rated R? It's not like they say fuck, or it's not like they're like really decapitating people and getting super gory with it, like there's some blood. But
no, it is more blood and gore than any Marvel has, though. Like, he's snapping people's bones on screen. You're seeing the bones break through. I don't know. Spider-Man beat Norman Osborn to a pulp, and he didn't have any blood on his face. Just stuff like that, where I'm just like, you would have bad and blood.
Wanda has Black Bolt exploding his head inside,
but they also didn't cover her in human. I mean, it was gruesome. I don't know what the rules are when it comes to that stuff. So as long as
TVMA seems to be somewhere in between PG-13 and rated R, huh?
I mean, it goes all the way to, there's some shows TVMA where they're full on like dropping the F word every other line and
Game
stuff
of Thrones. Game of Thrones is TVMA, and that's like super rated R. But I feel like the Daredevil show is borderline PG-13. It's just like on the rated R side of PG-13.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, so I don't know how much you can bring into that. So I hope they can bring in a decent amount and still make it gritty and real.
Same.
Caleb, you got to catch up on Daredevil, my guy. You gotta get all prepped now. We got to do a recap episode.
Yeah, totally. I've seen it.
Yeah, no, he's seen it.
But anyways, moving on. Next on the slate, coming out May 3rd of 2024, Captain America: New World Order. This will be Anthony Mackie's leading role. Coming off the events of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I imagine Bucky will be in this movie. Mm-hmm. All the Cap movies are pretty political related, so I feel like this is continuing the trend with New World Order. JD, how familiar are you with the New World Order run in the comics?
There's nothing, not that I know, that's called the New World Order, but I'm looking at it like this. Secret Invasions comes out a year before, and then Thunderbolts comes out a few months after. So when Secret Invasions comes out, in the books, Norman Osborn gets the kill on the Queen's Scroll, which makes him the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., which allows him to create the Dark Avengers, which were his Thunderbolts squad, plus or minus a couple characters. But to the public opinion, they're heroes, kind of like the boys. Everyone in the public thinks they're heroes, but behind the scenes, they're villains, and they're brutal. And they do some fucked up stuff. So I'm looking at it like the timeline. Secret Invasions comes out, and then Captain America: New World Order. So I think that Captain America: New World Order is going to have the fallout of this crazy alien invasion after we already had Thanos and all this stuff happen. Like, the public is going to start to lose trust in the Avengers, and they're going to look for another hero, like another group of people that are going to save the day, and they're going to put that trust into villains, which I think is going to play through the Captain America: New World Order movie. And at the end of that, the Dark Avengers, or the Thunderbolts, will be formed. So that's where the Thunderbolt movie comes in a few months after that. So it's a really good story. And I think that the order of these shows and movies coming out, I think there's a lot to look forward to. So we'll see how it works.
Yeah, that would be sick. Wow, I wasn't, like, when I think of Captain America: New World Order, I wasn't thinking any of that. My fear was that, so a main point of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the global whatever group. You remember that thing? Like, they had commercials at the beginning of episodes, and it was like basically a global law, a global government, one government for the whole world. And that was like the main focus, and that was kind of like the main group behind the shadows in that show. So my worry was, it is going to be political, but it's going to be fully centered around that like political spectrum of just the one world order coming out of whatever that global patriot, whatever. I gotta look it up. But I was just concerned that it's just strictly going to be around that. But if it's more so leading into Thunderbolts and everything you said, then I am way more excited for it.
Well, I like the political thriller aspect regardless. Like, Winter Soldier felt like a big political thriller.
Oh, yeah. No, I love Winter Soldier. I didn't enjoy that aspect of it in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I just didn't think it really did it interesting at all. So I just was thinking they're going to do that, but even to a bigger scale kind of thing.
I agree about that show. It wasn't done very well.
Global Repatriation Council. I don't know how I couldn't remember that, but yeah, that's what it's called. Repatriation. Not even a word.
JD already hinted at it, but coming out in July 2024, we have the Thunderbolts movie. Now, JD, who makes up this team in the comics?
Well,
who's the main team that you think will be in the MCU?
My favorite team is not who I think will be in the MCU. It was this, I think her name was Moonlight or Moonstar. It was Venom, Bullseye. Bullseye was played as the nuclear deterrent. Like, he's barely superpowered, but he's the guy who, if things were going really wrong, they would bring Bullseye in and he would just come freaking throw a little dagger in and kill the enemy. Like, he was written so well. Mm-hmm. And it was Norman Osborn who was like really big on public relations. Like, he did everything he can to look like a hero to the public eye on the media, but obviously behind the scenes, he's a maniac. It's written super well. It's a lot of fun. So that team was, it was Venom, Bullseye, Moonlight, or Moonstar, whatever it is. There was like a Sword Master dude, not a super significant guy. There was Radioactive Man, but I don't think that's what they're going with. It looks like they're going with like a Baron Zemo. Mm-hmm. What's
John
Black
Walker.
Widow? Yeah, John Walker. What's Black Widow's sisters? Yelena. The Abomination.
If Bullseye is suiting up in Echo, though.
Exactly, bro. We could be getting Bullseye.
So, that was a Warren Ellis run, by the way. Super good Thunderbolts run. But I don't think that's the most significant or the most prominent Thunderbolts lineup. Like, I don't know if I've read, because Baron Zemo is supposed to be like the leader of the Thunderbolts most of the time. So that seems like what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, he's definitely going to be leading this, it would seem.
Which I'm excited. That's a good actor for Baron Zemo. I like him.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
Oh, yeah, he was one of the best parts of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
True. It also depends if they're doing the Thunderbolts as anti-heroes or villains.
Right.
That's what I'm not confident about. I don't know what they're doing because, they're supposed to be pure villains, but they could do an anti-hero thing. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'll touch on that more in my prediction for Phase 6. But yeah.
Moving on to Phase 6, we have 3 movies confirmed so far. The first one coming out November 8th, 2024, The Fantastic Four. So for this movie, we're going to do a quick little fan cast. Since Dave was so hyped about this, I'm going to let you go first. You give me your Reed Richards.
All right, so I'll give you 3 or 4 different Reed Richards.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
I'm kidding.
One second, though.
You got me.
I have one theory.
Yeah.
What if they cast Jonathan Majors as Reed Richards? Would that be?
No.
He has to be his son.
I know,
No,
but
like
just
some
like
descendant.
crazy
Right.
Some multiversal. I don't know. No, you don't think they do that?
I would be pissed. I would not like that.
Okay.
That is just the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard, Caleb.
Who's hosting this episode?
Oh my god, I'm just throwing it out there. Go ahead with your Reed Richards. One choice.
All right, so I got a couple good ones here.
A couple?
So, one choice. I got a couple good ones.
All right. So my fan cast, they all go together as one team, but my Reed Richards is Andrew Garfield. Is who I chose. So we already saw him as a smart, like nerdy kind of boom bang as Peter Parker in Amazing Spider-Man. And he's 38 years old, so they're looking at their 20s and 30s kind of thing. I could see him being the lead kind of, I don't know exactly how to describe Reed. I mean, he's kind of goofy and awkward, but he's super smart. He's obviously a freaking genius, the team leader and everything, him and Sue together. I would like to see Andrew Garfield in it.
What a wild card, but I do like that a lot. You picture him as a young dude, but he's not. He's almost 40.
Yeah, he's 38, bro. I looked up the age thinking he was like 32 and was like, oh my God, he's almost 40 years old.
Yeah. I would just say Reed Richards has more of like a fatherly figure thing to him, which Andrew Garfield doesn't fit that. But that doesn't mean he wouldn't play a great Reed Richards. It just wasn't my initial, I never even thought of it.
Straight up.
JD?
Okay, I got mine as Andrew Lincoln.
I considered that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You did?
I
thought it was a super wild card, but I could totally picture him.
And this is obviously Rick from The Walking
I was
Dead.
going to say, yeah, for those listening, yeah, it is Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that.
How old is he?
He's 48 right now.
Okay.
Well, I went with a little bit of a younger cast. So for my Reed Richards, I went with William Jackson Harper from The Good Place.
Oh, him.
And Midsummer.
William Jackson.
He does
Harper.
he could be related to Kang. He played a very smart character on The Good Place, I guess.
Okay. I've never seen him before. How old is
The Good
he?
Place.
42.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's 42.
First thing is William Jackson Harper related to Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my gosh. That's the first. Okay.
I could see it. Marvel has some weird choices, so
Okay.
I could see it.
And
yeah, I'm
for
not crazy about it, but it could work. Sorry.
Could work. And for my Susan Storm,
Mm-hmm.
I went a little off the wall. Victoria Pedretti. She is from Haunting on Hill House and a couple other movies. Really good actress.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen her before either, but yeah, she could do it.
Wait, wasn't she in Iron Man 3? Is that not her?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
She kind of
no.
looks like her.
Maya or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like her.
She's Lulu in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Okay. That's
Yeah.
funny. One of the crazy girls. Interesting.
I didn't know how old the Reed Richards guy was, but I tried to go younger.
Straight up. The rest of my cast is pretty young. Andrew Garfield's my oldest, but
Me
Reed's
too,
typically the
yeah,
older
'cause-
of the group anyways.
Yeah, Reed in the comics has freaking gray hair most of the time.
Right.
At least the side
Yeah.
of his hair. Right? So you got to pick like a 40-year-old dude or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, he's older.
Dave,
Where's
who is
that-
your Susan?
My Sue Storm, I didn't go. Okay. There was one that matches up great with his chemistry, and they'd be really good together as a couple, but I didn't want to put that in there. So my Sue Storm is Erin Moriarty. So she plays Starlight in The Boys. I feel like she's already done a superhero character, and she totally has the Sue Storm look. Like, I could totally picture it. She's 29, I think. So again, young. But again, Andrew Garfield doesn't look like he's 38. So Andrew Garfield could be a mid-30s Reed Richards. Sue Storm, late 20s.
Yeah,
I'm really hyped about that. I feel like she'd play a really good Sue Storm.
That's amazing, dude. And they go well together. Like, really well.
Yeah, right? Because she dealt with Huey a lot in The Boys, and Andrew Garfield almost kind of has a little similar vibes as what's his name?
Yeah.
I forgot. What's his name? Jack Quaid, Randy Quaid's son, Kurt Russell's son. Yeah.
Kurt Russell's son.
That's
Starlight. That's Star-Lord, bro. Come on.
So yeah, Erin Moriarty.
JD?
All right. So for my Sue Storm, I have Una Chaplin, Talisa Stark.
Talisa Stark?
Stark?
Okay.
Talisa Stark, Rob's wife that got butchered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like her.
She's in Black Mirror in one of the episodes. She was really good in it.
Yeah. My only thing is she does not go well with Andrew Garfield. I mean, sorry, Andrew Lincoln. But as a Sue Storm herself, I think she'd be really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's
JD, who's your Ben Grimm?
Okay, you guys are going to like this. My Ben Grimm, and not a big fan of his meathead schoolyard bully kind of character. And I feel like I'm really not a big fan of this guy as a character, but I feel like our Ben Affleck would do a good one. And he did the Boston accent in the town, and he wouldn't play off like some schoolyard dumb bully. You know what I mean? So Ben Affleck is my Ben Grimm.
So real quick, Ben Grimm has a Brooklyn accent.
Oh, my name is David, and I know my culture on the East Coast.
But okay.
Yeah,
Ben Affleck. Okay. Surprisingly, that's not okay.
I could see it, dude. I just don't want a dumb the Thing. I just don't want a dumb character. I want like a more smart, like not annoying character.
You're gonna hate my pick then, but okay. Yeah. All right, that's not.
Well, who is it?
Me?
Dave? Yep.
John Cena. I think he did hella good in Peacemaker.
That would work, dude.
And he's kind of older too, so he's kind of closer to Reed Richards' age. He's the second oldest in that group, so that kind of works. But he was great in Peacemaker. He was funny. He's already a big meathead, so I feel like It would be hard. You'd have to change the backstory because you're not going to put Andrew Garfield and John Cena on screen together and be like, these are childhood friends. They grew up together. You know, you'd have to change maybe Andrew Garfield's older. Well, he doesn't have an older brother. I don't know. You could figure out something there, but
you'd be like, Hollywood can do that shit without CGI, with makeup and stuff. They can make Andrew Garfield look older and John Cena look younger. Like,
yeah, you could put
whatever they
together.
need to do. That would be hilarious. And he's not a meat-headed bully. He's just like a funny character. Just because he's like super muscular.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's a meathead. Like in Peacemaker, he's hilarious.
Oh, I loved him. Loved him in Peacemaker. I never knew John Cena would ever be in a role like that I liked so much. Like,
yeah. You could be a meathead if you don't have that macho man ego. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Right. He didn't have an ego. Like, he knew he was dumb, and he just kind of like, it was funny anyway.
Yeah.
I have Jesse Plemons as my Ben Grimm. He's been in a bunch of movies as like a side role.
Oh my God, Jesse Plemons?
Yeah.
Meth Damon? Yeah, so he's I think he's Jesse in Breaking Bad. He's the guy who shoots the little kid who's got the tarantula in the jar after they do the train heist in that episode. His dad, his uncle and dad are the white power people. He's
the cop in Game Night.
He's Landry in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I never really watched Friday Night Lights that much. Sorry, I know that's like a
really
sin.
good show.
I know.
It sounds
I know.
weird,
Trust
but
me.
That's like a really good show.
No, the Noonans give me so much crap every time I even slightly mention that because I really
they would watch that movie, dude. It's such a family.
But it's great. Like I've heard, but yeah, I'm just not very familiar with it. He's also in Black Mirror. He's in the same episode actually as who you just cast as Sue Storm. They're in the same Black Mirror episode. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. I could totally see that.
That's a great show, dude. That's such good, it's good drama.
What, Black Mirror?
No, Friday Night Lights. I've seen it like 2-3 times. It's so good.
That's so funny.
Just do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, moving on to Human Torch. Dave, we want to go last?
Do I want to go last?
What?
Are you messing with me right now?
Dave,
no, go ahead.
You want to go last?
Okay, I think this is literally perfect. Now, I kind of cheated on a previous episode, but he's not going to be in the X-Men, so it doesn't matter. He's not going to be in it. I got Dacre Montgomery as a Human Torch, Human Flame, Johnny Storm. Bro, he totally looks like Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm is a douchebag, but he's still likable. Like, he's an asshole, but he's still a likable asshole, and he's cocky. And again, Billy on Stranger Things, he was an asshole, but you still kind of liked him. He was still likable. He's already got that being an asshole down. He's got the look. He's got the age. He's got the cockiness. Billy was so cocky in Stranger Things. I feel like I can see it perfectly right now. So that's my Johnny Storm.
Love it. I almost had him for a second, actually.
We would have gone to the war room.
I just love him as Angel, dude. I think he's a perfect Archangel specifically.
I would prefer him as Johnny Storm if I had to pick for sure. And he's 1 year younger than Aaron Moriarty, so it really fits with the age gap and everything. Yeah.
All right. For my Johnny Storm, David, you're going to love this. I have
Keanu Reeves.
Finn Wolfhard. I'm just kidding. That's not it.
I was so close to turning my mic off and leaving.
Mine is Zac Efron. I'm not super confident. I just feel like I need a weird little cocky dude. He's a good actor.
A weird little cock?
Cocky dude. Sorry. A weird little cocky dude.
In the comics.
He's a really good actor. He's always entertaining. My second was actually Taron Egerton, though. If he doesn't play Wolverine, I feel like he'd play a really good Human Torch.
No, I love Zac Efron. I think that's honestly, that's also perfect. I think he fits perfectly for that.
Yeah.
For my Human Torch, I went a little off the wall as well, but this guy is an amazing actor. Coming up, younger guy, Dev Patel. The main character from Green Knight. He was also in Hereditary as the son. He definitely shows emotion very well, and I think he could play honestly any role.
Okay.
Yeah, this dude is a good actor.
I considered him for Reed, actually.
Yeah, me too.
I was thinking about that. But yeah, he's a great actor. Everything he's in, he's pretty solid in. Wasn't he in Slumdog Millionaire? No.
Oh, okay.
No. He was in what's Life of Pi? What's the tiger one? There's a tiger on a ship. Yeah. He's in Life of Pi. No, maybe he was in the other one. I don't know. I'm making an ass of myself, but he's in some good stuff.
Now, we could get an actual cast for this movie at D23. There are rumors that the Fantastic Four and the X-Men will be casted at D23.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to say, they said that they're not going to release any new information at Comic-Con, and they're going to save new information for D23, but which made the Avengers movies such a surprise. Like, I was stoked.
Right.
Wow. But if we get X-Men, like just like a release date or a confirmation and any kind of casting, like, dude, that would be, I cannot wait for D23.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we get casting at all, I don't even care if they tell us a project name. Like, the fact that we know somebody is signed on to do it, that's all I want to hear.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, moving on. Speaking of, the next movie is Avengers 5, Kang Dynasty, coming out May 2nd, 2025. Now, that's going to be an amazing birthday for me. My birthday is May 1st, so I will be, a little birthday celebration that year.
Hell yeah.
Now, there were a couple of good quotes from Kevin Feige. He had a little interview on the side afterwards. He did state that the multiverse saga rests on Jonathan Majors' shoulders. He said, quote, "It's impressive what Jonathan Majors is able to do and all the different incarnations, variants, if you will, of Kang that we will see him do."
Dude.
He's a very different type of villain. He asked him, how does he compare to Thanos? And he's like, he's not just a bigger purple guy. He's very different, very more complex. And he also explained about how he was asking where Phase 4 is going and how it was kind of all over the place. He said, we're doing a lot of micro and macro stories because of how large our universe has gotten. And he also confirmed that the Russo brothers will not be directing either Avengers 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
A lot to unpack there. So with Kang, he is totally different than Thanos. Now, I'll tell a little cool story. Before I knew that Kang Dynasty was the title of Avengers or any of that, I decided to buy this story because it looked interesting and I haven't read it before. So I read Kang Dynasty like 5 days ago, and then it was released that that's the title of the Avengers movie coming up next.
He's making all of this up. No, that's crazy. You're literally sending us snaps of that comic issue, and then hours later, we're like, wait, there's a patent put out for something called Avengers Kang Dynasty. And then 2 days later, it drops at Comic-Con. We're like, what? JD's just pretty mind reader.
It was pretty cool. Yeah. Us here at Why So Sidious can tell the future, so join our podcast and listen up for any kind of insight. Please but he is much different from Thanos. And he has a cool little base that's a lot like the Death Star. It's called Damocles base, and it's like a floating sword, and it could kind of throw a beam down to destroy a planet. It's pretty cool.
Might see that.
But it's also shaped like a sword. It probably worked in the 90s. I don't know if that works out too well.
Yeah,
nowadays.
They probably do a variation of that.
Yeah. But he is very different. You could do a lot of cool things with this character. And Secret Wars comes out in the same year. So I'm sitting there wondering,
6 months later.
Yeah. So it seems like in the comics, Doctor Doom was one of the driving forces behind Secret Wars. They haven't introduced Doom yet. So it seems like Kang's going to be, Marvel does that a lot. They play into their comic stories for the movies, but sometimes they replace characters with roles that were done in the comics, and they throw someone else in that role. It looks very obvious now that Kang will be put into the Doctor Doom shoes. That makes me wonder if we're not going to get a Doctor Doom or what. But it seems like he's going to be the driving force behind Secret Wars.
No? Oh, we got time. We might get a Doctor Doom in there. But, yeah.
But that would be weird if a Kang-oriented Avengers movie, led into Secret Wars and
yeah,
you know what I mean? And then
no, I agree with your theory. I was just saying we might get a Doctor Doom thrown in there, but it might just be different roles. Like Kang is the leader, and Doctor Doom, whatever, starts working for him or something. Sees his all powerful kind of thing and wants to take power for himself, like he always does in the comics. It tends to always work for these high powered people, and then want to be the leader at the end.
True, because Kang could play like the Beyonders role from the comics,
because he takes the Beyonders' power in Secret Wars,
right?
Yeah.
So Doctor Doom could still play his own role, but Kang is actually the Beyonders.
yeah, dude, they could,
and we could see a version of Kang leading the Avengers versus a different version of Kang fighting the Avengers. I see a lot of different things.
Actually.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on with all these different Kang variants that he mentioned.
That's so cool, though. And the fact that they said that about Jonathan Majors, like, just says that much about how good of an actor he is. He's going to be covering all these different ranges and stuff. And they're trusting him to lead the next 2 phases of this giant property, acting as different personalities, different roles of the same character. Like, I'm excited, man. It's a super cool way to do a better or a different villain than Thanos, but still not drop the bar and still be able to move forward and raise it up a bit and still raise the stakes further or whatever the case. But
yes, totally. The one thing, it's like when he's sitting there, because his focus is on Earth in the books. Like he doesn't really care about eliminating half the population of the universe to bring balance or anything. Like he has a vendetta against Earth.
Straight up.
And as a child, he feels stuck in time because he's in this utopia in the 30th century where it's like there's nothing else to improve upon. Like everyone's just sitting in time, enjoying a perfect life. Like no one has any problems. So that's what makes him want to conquer other weird timelines. But his thing is against Earth and the Avengers. But one of the coolest parts of that comics is him and Captain America just having this one-on-one brawl. And even Thor, like, came in and all the other Avengers are like, all right, let's go get Kang. Let's destroy him. And Thor's like, no, stop. This is for Captain America. Like, it's not because he needs help. It's because he doesn't want help. Like he's going to take Kang one-on-one in a fist fight. I wish we will get that scene, but obviously we're not going to get that. But there's other cool things that could happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, moving on, we get Avengers 6 Secret Wars, November 7th, 2025. And speaking on what JD just said, we could get the return of Chris Evans, Robbie Downey Jr., Hugh Jackman, any other Black Widow. I mean, anyone is game in this movie. It could be the return of anyone.
Or we could be getting Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin from the Sony universe in this. Like literally anything is on the table at this point. We got, like you said, you got Kang Dynasty, and then it rolls into Secret Wars here. So Secret Wars, like JD was saying, I mean, there's just so much stuff, and it wraps in all this stuff in the comics. It's like so much stuff. There's so many loose ends all over the place, and it's just a way basically that you can clean up an absolute mess of a multiverse. Like they can use this Secret Wars thing to bring all this stuff back together for something into phase 7, and clean up all this crap that they've opened up, the multiverse they've broken multiple times and stuff. The fact that they're having Kang Dynasty 6 months before Secret Wars, I'm guessing Kang is going to win. Whatever the conflict is in Kang Dynasty and stuff, he's going to win. And it's going to be even worse of a loss than the Infinity War loss that they suffered against Thanos. Like almost everybody, I don't know, something's going to happen to the point where the only way to get back is they all have to be brought to this, what's it called? Battle World in Secret Wars. So all these properties of all these characters are brought to this one battle world, and there's this Beyonder who controls the whole thing. And it's basically just like a fight for his entertainment, I feel like.
Well, remember, it's Dr. Doom is the king of this whole battle world.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So anyways, it brings all these people together to fight. Basically, it's going to be even crazier than the Endgame fight. Like they're going to have so many freaking characters involved in this mess. But I really think that Kang's going to win it all. They're going to go into Secret Wars, and then this is going to end kind of with what you were saying, JD. So my prediction for phase 7 is Dark Avengers. So I feel like the good guys are going to get defeated in this. The Secret Wars thing is going to cause this absolute upside down flip of the universe or whatever is going on in the MCU. They're going to be disillusioned with the Avengers, whoever is even left of the Avengers, because I feel like we're kind of getting a new Avengers run in these phases. We had the original Avengers, and the first 3 phases, we're kind of getting this new Avengers squad put together. And these 3 or 4 phases 4 and just phase 4, I guess, and 5, 6. But yeah, I feel like phase 7 is going to roll into the Dark Avengers, coming off the back of the Thunderbolts series. So I'm just super excited to see what happens. But literally, the options are limitless. So the cameo predictions that everybody's going to be having is going to be off the charts. But
yeah, and what you said about the Beyonders being in control of Battleworld, and I corrected you on Doctor Doom being in control. Like, you actually weren't wrong, because in the 70s they had Secret Wars, and the Beyonder was in control of Battleworld. And what's funny is Doctor Doom did end up like infiltrating the whole situation and going up and taking the Beyonder's powers. But you're right, the Beyonder was in control of the very first Secret Wars story, so that could be a thing too.
Straight up.
And the thing about Secret Wars is you were also right about how all these universes are coming together with these incursions and stuff, but this main event took place with the Ultimate Universe and the 616 universe. Like, these are the 2 universes left, and they're going to battle it out to save their own universe. So I mean, there's just so much that could happen. And that's when Spider-Man and the Miles Morales Spider-Man met again. Like, they met in some weird situation with Mysterio, jumping universes. Like, they met before Secret Wars, but it was a cool way to bring our Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Miles Morales back, and they got to meet again. Like, you're right. The possibilities are endless.
Straight up.
Before we wrap things up today, we're going to give you guys 3 Phase 6 movie predictions. We want to fill in the gaps in between Fantastic Four and the 2 Avengers movies. So, JD, give me 3 movies you think will happen in Phase 6.
Okay. I don't really think these are going to happen, but I want them to happen, and there is a possibility. I just don't think Marvel's going to go this far, but I think it would work. One of them is Nova. I think it'll give us... Yeah. I think it'll give us an opportunity to finally see what happened to Xandar, when all that we heard was Thanos decimated Xandar. Like, this whole movie's about him capturing Infinity Stones, and we never saw how he got the Power Stone, which was on Xandar. Nova was created by Xandar being destroyed by the Annihilation Wave, and when that planet was destroyed, he inherited all the power of the Nova Force and became Nova. In the MCU, Thanos has already went and destroyed Xandar. So they could do a really, really cool flashback, bring Josh Brolin, show us a cool flashback of Xandar being decimated, as we already know has happened, and Nova inheriting the Nova Force and this hero being born. Far-fetched, but I would love to see it. Also, Guardians 3 is over as of next year? So anyway, we're going to need a new cosmic character. Like, Nova's perfect for that. We're going to have Adam Warlock. He's obviously not going to die with Guardians 3. Guardians of the Galaxy are done with. Adam Warlock's not going to be done with. Some of the characters are not going to be done with. You're going to need a new focal point for the cosmic universe, and Nova would be perfect. My next one is a Miles Morales Spider-Man. Oh. I really hope we get a Miles Morales Spider-Man. That'd be cool. No one knows about Tom Holland. I would honestly rather Tom Holland just come back as Spider-Man. I'd rather there be both. I'd rather there be a Miles Morales and a Peter Parker. I don't know, even if they're in separate universes. I want a Miles Morales. That'd be a lot of fun. My third Phase 6 movie is Children's Crusade. These are the Young Avengers. Oh. We've had a lot of hints towards the Young Avengers. We got Kate Bishop. We have Wanda's talked about her twins, Billy and Tommy. Iron Lad is Kang from the past. Iron Lad is, he is Kang. He's a young Kang.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that could work. Kang's kid or something. Yeah, he's involved with Kang. Who else? Oh yeah, who is the dude? The black dude in Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was actually the
Patriot.
Yeah, his granddad, right? Who was the guy in the first?
Well, his granddad is Elijah Bradley. Patriot's name is Isaiah Bradley. Or no, it's backwards. Isaiah is the old man, and Elijah is Patriot in the comics.
Right.
Elijah Bradley. Yes. Yeah.
So we've been introduced to him. His grandkid is supposed to be Iron, or not not Iron Lad, but Iron Patriot.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of children's or young Avengers showing up. And their purpose in the comics was, among other things, was to save Wanda after she lost her mind and created all this stuff and became a villain. This movie could be them finding Wanda, like us finding out she's still alive, and them looking for Wanda. And it could have all kinds of other cool implications. So, yep, okay. That's Nova, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Children's Crusade.
Okay.
Dave?
I misunderstood the assignment, so that's why I had a prediction for Secret Wars and a prediction for Fantastic Four and Kang Dynasty, but I'll just go ahead real quick. I think we're going to get a Heroes for Hire type movie. So they're bringing in Daredevil and Echo and Bullseye and stuff. So I think there's going to be a street level kind of Hell's Kitchen area type movie that comes out of that. I would freaking love if Daredevil interacted with Spider-Man or something like that in the movie, because they have a dope back and forth in the comics that would be so cool to finally see on screen. So I'll go Heroes for Hire. I'll go Shang-Chi 2. I don't know if that's cheating, but I mean, there's got to be a sequel for Shang-Chi, right? So I'm imagining that's coming up in phase 5. And then
phase
6. Yeah, that's tough. Really wish I wasn't dumb. And the third one, we'll go with Valkyrie. Valkyrie will have some movie of some sort. I don't know.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. I almost put Shang-Chi 2. I just wanted to refrain from sequels on my list. But
that seems like that was
that seems like that seems more accurate.
Yeah, but like you said, it's more exciting to think of a new type of film being dropped instead of just the sequels to all the stuff we're expecting.
Yeah, but it's like all our predictions, like, oh, Noel's going to be in the end credits. It's like we're too far fetched sometimes.
Oh, we're getting a Galactus movie for sure, phase 6. Love, what were yours?
Well, I went more like obvious ones than crazy.
For sequels?
Yeah. Eternals 2. Come on.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange 3. But the one that I really want is a Scarlet Witch solo movie. Wanda's one of my favorite characters in the MCU right now. I really think she deserves her own movie.
Yeah, I love that actually.
Yeah, I mean, she's not done. Like, there's just absolutely no way in hell she's dead. Like, they did not show that giant burst of red and everything for no reason. Like, she's not done. So, and obviously there's multiple variations I've heard, but.
And we just got the most powerful Wanda ever. Like, if now more than ever, she is a freaking Avenger. Like, well, not as far as her behavior, but now that
she's not on the lunchbox.
Right, she's definitely off the lunchbox, but her power levels, like, you can't just she has to be in the story still.
Yeah, so Michael Waldron, the guy who worked on Multiverse of Madness, he actually confirmed that Wanda was supposed to, her evil turn was supposed to come at the very end of Multiverse of Madness, and she was supposed to be the next main Avengers villain before Kang popped in, I guess. That would be sick. I don't know when the timeline exactly, but yeah, Wanda was supposed to be a villain for an Avengers movie, so that probably would have given her more time on screen to flesh out her backstory and everything else going on with her. Not her backstory, but her current story.
Yeah. Speaking of different Avengers villains, did you guys know that Moon Knight was an Avengers villain? And because Comic-Con released that Jason Aaron is going to bring a conclusion to his Avengers run in the comics, in which Moon Knight and Khonshu are like one of the main villains for a little bit.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, the whole run's okay. It's kind of cartoonish. It's okay, but that was actually a cool little series. But she would make a great Avengers villain. That's like what our House of M and our Avengers.
That's exactly, bro. House of M, or either one of those. Those were both great runs. So, yeah.
And maybe an X-Men movie.
An X-Men, dude. Well, in House of M, she's the one who wipes out all the mutants. She whispers "no more mutants" and freaking destroys the X gene. So they totally could have something where she's the villain, and she's supposed to be Magneto's daughter. I don't care if the comics reversed that recently. That's stupid. She's Magneto's daughter in comics, so they should be able to. Did you see that they reversed that in comics?
No.
Yeah, she's not. Like 2019 comics or something like that. I don't know when it was. It was recent though.
Was it in the trial of Magneto?
I don't know what it was, but basically she put a curse out wishing to harm anybody who is in her family, and Pietro gets messed up by it, and it just doesn't affect Magneto at all. And they're hinting that they're not related at all. It's like, just leave it alone.
Yeah. Well, I'm super glad you brought up the House of M thing where, wait, was that House of M? Yeah, where she whispered no more mutants.
Yeah.
Where in the MCU, it, like, people are thinking that could do the opposite thing. Like she
brings about
that,
mutants. Yeah.
Right.
That would
Which
be
I
cool.
don't think that doesn't make sense. Like, why would an emotional disturbance explosion like bring about a mutation in people's DNA?
Well, and why would? Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be cool, because why would she say that? I want mutants. Like,
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
What are mutants?
Like what? Dude, the one thing I see that making sense is people got snapped back from Thanos's 50% murder thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that causes a mutation in people's DNA.
Easy. Happened with what's her name in WandaVision? Photon. She got snapped back and forth, and that whatever it's called type of energy coursed through her enough, and it changed her genetic structure. And...
Yeah, exactly.
And it's one other thing. Armor Wars. I guess they pushed that back to Phase 6.
Oh yeah,
that was right. Kind of forgot.
Yeah, they
about
didn't mention that at all. Interesting.
How do you guys feel about Armor Wars? What's going to happen there?
I think it could be cool, but I don't really know what to expect from it.
Me neither.
I don't know.
Maybe some like Dark Avengers stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember being excited for it at all.
Or
but
Thunderbolts.
there was some rumor where like the villain in it or something was gonna be. There was some type of news where I was like, oh, well, that gets me more interested. But I don't recall what it was.
Well, I think that's about it for Comic-Con news this week. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Why So Sidious. Please join us next time as we cover Lord of the Rings trilogy, getting ready for the new Rings of Power series. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Why So Sidious Pod. Thank you. Bye. There will be conquering.